another level up. We are still tackling bullies, and we are tackling the topic of bullies. Now, let me tell you, I got a little bit of flack from my last statement on one of my videos. We are addressing here on the Level Up Creator Support bullying, cyberbullying, and everything that encompasses those nagging individuals. We're talking trolls, Karens, Mikes, Jessies, Rebeccas, Shaniquas, anybody that's coming at somebody in an effort to minimize what they are doing on social media, to minimize themselves, to minimize the creator's content, to minimize anything about a video that they may not like. We're talking about those individuals that come after creators. So let me reiterate something that I stated, and then let's talk about it for a brief moment. If you notice the thumbnail says, "Am I a bully?" The thin line between joking around and being a bully. Let's talk about something that was stated in my previous video. I said in my previous video that there may also be bullies out there who don't quite know that they fit the characteristics of being a bully, meaning that they may not know that they are actually a bully. And let me tell you, I got so many comments about that statement because they were like, "Listen here, Slot Sister, a bully knows they're a bully. They know very well." And I get that. I really do get that. But let's talk about some elements that they may not know that they're the bully. So, we want to address something. Bullying can take various forms. We've already discussed it. If you're following this series here on this channel, you've already heard us say this. Bullying can come in the form of verbal bullying, physical bullying, social exclusion. Now, I didn't mention this in the prior video, but it was definitely a characteristic of bullying. Social exclusion and cyberbullying. There are various forms of bullying, but let's talk about a couple of things about the social exclusion that we never really touched on. So let's talk about social exclusion. Social exclusion has now been classified as a subgroup of bullying. Basically, what is being said is that there is an individual or group of individuals that are out there with the sole purpose of harming another individual in their social element, meaning that they may be doing the mean girl, mean guy club, going out talking to a million people about this one individual. "Oh, such and such is like this and such is like that," without allowing the individuals to experience that individual or come to their own conclusion about that individual themselves. There's an entire group devoted to trying to, as I say, talk mess about someone else. That is an element of social exclusion, which is a subgroup of bullying. Did we know that? I like to say sometimes I will mention characteristics about an individual so that you are advised, but I won't repeatedly say things about an individual in an effort to diminish or isolate that individual from a group, an event, a scenario, a situation. That would border bullying. Because if you're telling somebody about somebody else, then, and you do it the first time, it could possibly be considered as, "Oh, I just want to warn you about this individual." But if you're telling somebody about somebody else repeatedly, and you're trying to inbred something about that individual that the person you're talking to may not like, then you're trying to isolate that individual, and that becomes bullying. That really does become bullying. Do we always know that we're doing that? No, the answer is no. So once again, going back to that statement I made that perhaps not all bullies know that they are bullies, this would be one instance where I've seen people speak on another person and then continue to do that with other individuals. They are doing it under the guise of, I'm warning everybody. But perhaps if maybe not all the details are exact, or perhaps if it's a friend of that person, you're doing it under the guise of trying to change someone's opinion of someone, to socially isolate the other individual. That borders bullying. So let's talk about some elements of social exclusion. So social exclusion would include leaving somebody purposely out of several events that you may be having in a group of friends. This person knows everybody that's in the events, they just never get an invitation. Now, on the surface, that is not bullying. Just leaving somebody out and not inviting them to an event, perhaps maybe because they don't mesh well with the theme of the event, or maybe they're just not as fun as you would want them to be for a particular party or event that you're having. Those are understandable. But when you purposely exclude someone from several events, even events that they would do well in that setting, that element, then you're trying to socially exclude them from this. In social media, it could be anything. It could be something as far as someone being in the chat and purposely a group of people will not speak to that individual. They enter into the chat, and it happens all the time. You enter into a chat on YouTube and you're like, hello everybody, and no one says anything back. Perhaps they don't really feel comfortable responding. They don't quite know you. The host maybe missed it as they were doing whatever event they were doing. The mods, you know what, maybe the host didn't mention to the mods, hey, can you welcome everyone in as they come into the stream? These are things to know, because this is a tidbit for a lot of creators. We don't know, and there will be a video that talks about this, we don't know to address these things with our mods. We just, on the YouTube side, we call it handing out wrenches. I think on TikTok it's stars or mod stars. But we just hand these things out and we're like, you know, thank you for being supportive, and we leave no instruction whatsoever. Well, it could create, the lack of communication could actually create a form of social division, social exclusion. It could actually create an element where people jump into your live stream and they're not connecting with anyone. The one thing that I always say about live streams and videos in any case is the connection in the chat is almost equally as important as the content itself, because people will oftentimes stay on content much longer when they're really engaged in the conversation or in the chat or on the topic. The interaction between others in the chat makes a huge, huge difference to a lot of channels. But it also touches on what we're talking about today, which is that social exclusion. Let's talk about another form of social exclusion, which once again has now been classified as a subcategory of bullying. We may not know we're even doing this. Have you ever told someone's business that they told to you in confidence? Yeah, you're a bully. You may not even know it, but you just bullied someone. You literally just excluded them socially, especially if you told someone in your group. You particularly did that for a reason. I'd be interested to talk to someone to learn what the mentality was when they did that, or the reasoning behind doing something like that. But information is given to us all the time. I get information from my friends, my family, co-workers, individuals in social media that coexist with me. And sometimes it warrants for me to go out and tell information. Just recently, I heard some information about a friend's channel, and I went into a pure frenzy and ran over to my friend, and I'm like, be careful, be careful. You know, I put myself into a frenzy. But it wasn't so much as telling the personal information of someone. It was to alert that individual just to be careful, just to be watchful. That's it. But what if I took the information I had learned and had gone around and started telling various individuals, oh, this person is going to do this or is trying to do this. And I continue to keep that story going throughout individuals, different people that have no relationship or no relation to the individual. I just feel like I want to tell the story, like I want to tell their details. It's not for me to tell. It really isn't. It's not for us to tell. If that individual wanted that information to get out, they would have told the individuals that information just like they told you in confidence. That's a huge one, because a lot of us don't know the fine line between having a discussion and discussing someone else and actually disclosing personal information or confidential information or information that could possibly socially exclude someone in that conversation. We may not know that we're doing it. Point number 2, to what I stated, that we may not know that we are bullies, is this point exactly. Because I personally have been prone to give information out, and then a person come back and say, oh, did you tell them this? And I have to admittedly say, yes, I did not know I was supposed to keep that in confidence. I did not know that that was socially excluding you. Now, let me tell you, being a bully has levels. There is levels to this. You could be a bully intentionally because of some characteristics you have, some things that may have happened to you in life. Okay, that's one thing. But those that are being bullies unintentionally, that's who I'm talking to today. Because we can make the change by just determining some of our actions may actually be the actions of bullying. That's huge. It's big. It could change who we are and how we are to other individuals. And I would like to say this whole social experiment we call social media, social influencing, social motivation, this is all one big experience. It's a learning curve for all of us in life, in the social element, in socializing with others of different cultures, maybe different backgrounds, perhaps religions. It's definitely a social experiment as to how we react in social environments. Social media is big. It's huge. There's platforms all over the place because it's so big. And a lot of people come to social media for various reasons. Some come because they want to have a social relationship with individuals that they necessarily would not have in life. Some come because they isolate themselves physically due to something that they may determine or something that they didn't determine. They may be physically isolated from individuals, and they come on social media to get that socialization. We all yearn for it in our lives. But it could also be quite tricky when we talk about these elements of, am I a bully? or could I possibly be bullying someone? Let's get into point number 3 to see if you possibly or I possibly am a bully and did not know. So, the third point of social exclusion. Do you know that embarrassing someone in the public eye is a form of direct bullying? Most individuals who do this, they know that they're doing it. But there are the occasion when people don't quite know that they're embarrassing the person. This comes to what I call the gray area. Because there's a thin line between being a bully and joking with someone. I do it all the time. My whole channel and my whole existence in life is to make people laugh. I like the sound of laughter and I go after it. But there are times when I can directly maybe be joking with someone other than an individual and bullying someone who possibly could have PTSD, who could be sensitive to the subject. There are times when I could actually be bantering back and forth with someone and offend the actual person that I'm bantering back and forth with. It's a thin line. It's quite a thin line. We never quite know, and I say this way because I know that I may have fallen prey to this a few times. I may have possibly been the bully that I am literally talking about right now, and I'm honestly going to admit it here today that I have learned so much in this series already from those of you that have been engaging in the chats, those of you that have challenged me in emails, those of you that have reached out to me directly after this began. I have learned so much about the people that surround me and myself. That's important. That's important to notice, because when I thought about this third element of social exclusion, the possibly embarrassing someone on social media without even knowing that, I was real cautious as to the comments I started making, because I would be at will just typing the craziest things that would come to this mind. Now let me tell you, if anybody knows me, if anybody knows about my channel, if anybody knows about any of the channels I do have on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, I go for the jokes. I live for the jokes. I like to make people laugh, and when someone else finds my stuff funny, I may keep rolling and rolling or typing and typing and end up in an element where I could potentially bully someone in or around that conversation. Now, when you think about that, that is one of the reasons I made the comment that bullies may not know that they're bullying people. But that's what this whole series has been about. It's not slamming down on bullies in particular. Of course, we never want to encourage bullying. We don't want it. Nobody wants it. It does no good for anybody. It's bad for the individual that is the bully, because they're deflecting what's going on with their mental health and their psyche and anything else that's going on with them. They're deflecting it onto others. That's never a good thing. It's not good for the bully. But additionally to that, it's definitely not good for the recipient, the victim of bullying. These are victims because we don't know what their mental state was before they encountered us as bullies. We don't know what their mental state is as they have to challenge us as bullies. And we don't know what their mental state is long after they've been bullied, after they've been socially isolated, after they've been excluded from things, after they've been talked about, after they have been mentally worn out. We don't know what their status is. So these are things that we have to take serious, and we have to be mindful of who and how we are as individuals in order to combat bullying. Speaking of combating bullying, we have quite the panelists lined up this Sunday on the Level Up to address part 3 of the 5-part series, bullying, cyberbullying on social media. The range of experience on social media, that these individuals have will be quite insightful for all of us. So I always encourage you to, one, make sure if you are not subscribed, let's check it right now. We could do that right now. Let's check our phones and let's make sure that we are subscribed to this channel. And then after we check that phone, let's look to the bell to the right of that. Let's make sure that we click that bell to all, so that you will get notifications when all the videos and all the live streams are happening here on this channel. And as always, what keeps this conversation going and what gives this channel a means to support creators is your engagement with these videos. Your comments below, they're read by not just the creator itself, but by others engaging with that content, that topic, or that video. Definitely, I encourage you to leave your comments down below. I love reading the comments. I love getting insight, and I definitely even challenge some of the content on this channel. It may or may not be in alignment with how you think things through, and it's okay. This is a safe space to challenge ideas, to challenge content, to challenge me. I like challenges because I grow from them. I encourage them because I grow from them. So as always, as I always do, I want to thank each and every one of you that tap into these videos. And I want to encourage you to truly engage in these videos. And when an idea or a concept is brought up, I definitely encourage you to think about that and challenge it in the chat. We are a channel that is designed to support creators, meaning that we bring forth the challenges of being a creator. We bring forth the rewards of being a creator. We bring forth tips and tricks and things that we've learned along the way. We are a group of creators that have come together on a channel to table talk all types of subjects. And I encourage you to engage in each of the topics, each of the videos, and share this channel out with other creators, friends, family that are thinking about jumping into social media. Share us out. We appreciate you, and we love to see the shares. Tag us. We love to see the tags. Once again, I thank you for being here on the Level Up Creator Support. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you here on the live this coming Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I will see you there.